Hello, everyone. My name is John from Community Life Church in Catskill, New York, and this is Meals Ready to Eat from the Bible. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to get notified. Facebook, follow us, like us, and everybody, please leave a comment. Thanks. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today's episode is Abraham believed God, God made him righteous, and Abraham still had doubts. It's okay to ask God the hard questions. He will answer, and we can still walk in our God-provided destiny. Now, having faith is not a magical thing whereby we get everything we want. Faith is following God, faith is obeying God, faith is trusting God, and faith is repenting when I don't do those first few things. So, Abraham is a good example of that, and that is exactly what we see Abraham doing. He set an example for us. But he also had questions for God. He wasn't just some robot or some great saint that walked around like this and did everything right. He was just a regular person. He was just like us. Very important point there. And God shows us that if Abraham could walk out his destiny and live by faith, you can and I can as well. So here's one example of Abraham speaking with God and asking questions and getting answers. Let's just pop that up on the screen and read this. Then this is Abraham, believed in the Lord, and God, reckoned it to him as righteousness. And he said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to possess it. And Abraham said, O Lord, how may I know that I will possess it? So here we see Abraham asking God some hard questions. Now, we can also read about this, believing God and being reckoned as righteousness. You can read it in Galatians 3:6, Romans 4:3, James 2:23, excuse me, and Romans 4:18 through 22, among others. So first of all, Abraham believed God, right? Abraham listened to God. We cannot believe if we do not listen. We have to listen to what God says, and the best way to listen to God, what God is saying, to know that this is indeed God, is to make sure we're very familiar with and spend time reading the Bible. We have to read the scriptures. God reminds Abraham that it was him who brought him out of the land of the Chaldeans. We can read about this in the very beginning of Genesis 12, where it's like God said to Abraham, get out of where you're living right now and go to Canaan, the land that I'm going to give you. So Abraham listened to God, and God reminds Abraham that it was him who brought him out of the land of the Chaldeans. This was God's plan, and God told Abraham, and so we see God speaking. Abraham listened, Abraham obeyed, and God initiated the plan, not Abraham. So we see all this great stuff here. Abraham listening, Abraham obeying, but most importantly, this is all on God. God was doing. God was sovereign in this. This was God's plan, and he was setting it up, and he was giving it to Abraham and saying, Abraham, this is what you have to do to walk in this plan. So the land and the destiny is Abraham's to possess, or not to possess if you don't want to live by faith. Important point here. His faith is based on following God. So when Abraham said, how may I know? God was not mad because Abraham was following God. He was believing God. He was obeying God, and he was trusting God. So this is not a question out of rebellion. It's just like, how do I know? What do I do, God? How do I follow you? So the land and destiny is Abraham's to possess. So when Abraham said, how may I know? God did not get mad. Very important point. Remember that. And the key to possessing our destiny, to doing all this, is having faith, living by faith, walking by faith, because that makes us righteous before God, which we cannot be without faith in God. Faith is following God, obeying God, trusting God, and repenting when we do not do so. And that's how we walk with God. That's how we walk in our destiny. All right, that's what we see in the lives of Abraham. We see it in the lives of Isaac, and we see it in the struggle between Jacob and Esau, which we have been talking about, is living by faith, walking by faith, and all this taking possession of what God has given for us. So when we live by faith, we can ask God the hard questions, we can walk in our destiny, we can live with godly influence, and we can change everything around us and change what comes after us. And that really is good news. All right, thanks for watching. You can find us on the web at clchurch.cc. That's clchurch.cc. We meet 10:30 Sunday mornings in 20 West Main Street, Catskill, New York. Hope to see you there, and thanks once again.